One of my patrons sent me a message if now is the best time to add more shares of Bionano Genomics, if we should be buying the dip. We are going to take a look at what institutional investors have been doing, short sellers what they have been doing. In this video, I want to show you guys how short sellers have switched from shorting, in my opinion, to buying. Of course, all these indicators, most of them are literally lagging the market, but still we can still make some kind of sense of this. Now, Bionano Genomics closed yesterday minus 6.62%. So Renaissance Technology, this is one of the short sellers of Bionano Genomics, shorting the share price of this company heavily. Okay, they used to own millions of shares and then they started to dump everything. If you take a look at their first filing back in 5/13/2021, you guys can see they used to own about 9.4 million shares of Bionano Genomics back in May 2021. Okay, and all the way they dumped everything in August 2021, and then they started to buy in little by little until they started to dump again last year. And right now they have dumped everything. And in my opinion, because if you take a look at this filing, it is effective date. The effective date of this filing is 31st of December 2022, and they filed it this month, about a couple of days ago. Now the thing is, in my opinion, I think Renaissance Technology has started to buy Bngo again, because that is literally what they have been doing. Okay, they dump everything, then they start to buy little by little again, and then they dump again, because they are literally trading shares of this company. So the first one is Renaissance Technology, one of the largest short seller of Bionano Genomics, if not the largest. They have dumped everything, but we have to wait for the second quarter of this year to determine if they started to buy again in the first quarter of this year, because this filing is based on the fourth quarter of last year. So another one is Citadel. Okay, Citadel started also little by little. They dumped everything, then they bought again, and they dump it, and then they bought, dump, and right now they are buying. Okay, according to their filings from 31st of December 2020, they started to add again. They increased their position by 62.7%. Okay, they are literally trying to double this position. So in my opinion, with where the share price of Bngo is today, okay, as at Friday closing around 1.2 or something US dollars, 1.25 I believe, let me take a look at that, 1.27. I think Citadel is also adding to their share, to their position of Bionano Genomics at this moment in the first quarter of this year. So two short sellers, two powerful short sellers, Renaissance Technology, Citadel Advisor. I think they, are done selling. I think they will start to add to the position, or they are going to hold on. Okay, they are not gonna do anything until they get some kind of buy signal once again. So my bet is they have, stopped shorting Bionano Genomics. Now, if you take a look at another, institutional investor, Mirai Asset Global Investments, take a look at that. You can see from 1.2 to 1.3 and then 1.7 million shares of Bionano Genomics filed, in December. Of course, was effective date. They filed it in this month, about 2 weeks ago. They are increasing their position little by little. Okay, so they started in 2020, and they have been adding to their position since then. So that is another institutional investor literally adding to their position of Bionano Genomics. So now Bionano Genomics, okay, we have a lot of filings. Of course, we have the biggest one that came in this month is from also Millennium Management LLC with 1.1 million shares, increasing their position by 3,614. Let's take a look at what they used to sit on, how big their position used to be. Okay, I don't know why my internet is so slow. So so they, according to their filing, you guys can see from 31,000 they increased their position all the way to 1.1 million shares. They used to hold in the third quarter of last year, their filing, they used to own 31,000, right now 1.1 million shares. So that is massive. Of course, back in 2021 they used to own 3.1 million shares. Then they dumped everything, almost to zero, not even almost, they dumped everything to zero. And then third quarter of last year they started to nibble in little by little once again. So this is some kind of bullish signal from institutional investors. So the good news, in my opinion, is if you take a look at this, you can see that right now institutional investors are presently sitting on 28.3 23% of BNGO, shares, okay, long 28.23%. This used to be 27 and then it will come down to 26, then 25. Right now it is at 28. I think that is closer to all-time high. If you take a look at this, you can see that they pumped up a little bit. Okay, look at that, 14.5. okay, I think we need to break out of this range. If Bionano Genomics keeps going down, let's say we get to $1 or below, I think this is going to break out finally. Institutional investors are going to go crazy because right now the share price of BNGO is trading at literally all-time 2 years all-time low. We are approaching that level now. This is what the stock market looks like. Okay, on Friday, year to date, this is what the stock market, of course, the healthcare, diagnostics and research sector, okay, you can see Bionano Genomics is down minus 13% year to date. Okay, meanwhile we have the like of Pacb up about 7.21%. Of course, the market last week was due to, we got CPI data. It came in hotter than expected, even though it came in at 6.4%. Investors were expecting, it came in at 6.5%. Investors were expecting, the estimate was 6.4 because last month was 6.6. okay, it still came down a little bit, but we wanted it to come down lower than that, but unfortunately it came in higher than expected. And then we have Fed coming in again that they are going to possibly keep increasing the interest rate, and that's why the market went down last week. And that is why the likes of Bionano Genomics sold off heavily, of course, because this is literally supposed to be a growth stock. They are not yet profitable, so most of unprofitable companies, even Pacb also sold off heavily. That is what happened last week. But of course we still have some stocks, okay, going up crazy. Look at that, DMTK up 118% year to date, guys. And then we have CDNA 26%. We have SHC up 107%, okay, even in this crazy market. And then LNTH up 42% year to date. So I shared this last week on Twitter. Okay, this is a new publication made on DPI. Okay, the title says optical genome mapping as an alternative to FISH based cytogenetic assessment in chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Of course, what they are trying to do is to replace standard of care, okay, of this leukemia with Bionano Genomics Sapphire device. Okay, because the old method is like like we already know, FISH is the old method that they are trying to replace in this case. Okay, the old methods of analyzing genomes, karyotyping, FISH. Okay, so in this case they are trying to replace FISH, and according to all these experts, Bionano Genomics comes in, the results came in 100% in concordance to what they expect. So let's see. I mean, this is not the first time we are seeing this kind of studies, okay, saying that Bionano Genomics can possibly do better than old method of analyzing genomes. But the good thing that we want to see is finally researchers, clinicians replacing old methods, if not everything, if not even at once. Okay, let them just start to replace them little by little, okay, like they are already doing, but we need to see it in a large scale, okay, so that at least the share price of this company can finally moon, and we can finally see some green candles. Okay, now I made this tweet, this one is 2 days ago. BNG 2023 all-time high is $1.99. The share price is down over 10% year to date and over 40% from the 2023 high, because we got to $1.99, okay, this year. Now someone is selling big since the beginning of this month. They want it cheaper. That was the tweet, and of course, that's of course why the share price has been going lower. Meanwhile, institutional investors, in my opinion, they are buying it as it's going lower. They are buying it little by little. So of course the market didn't help. Okay, we will see what's gonna happen. Now after this tweet, I got a couple of replies, and VJ, for example, one of my good followers, he said not what I wanted to hear, and of course that is reality. Then he came in and he said your point is. We have Joe coming in saying he's saying if someone wants it cheaper, they sell a ton to make it cheaper. And of course that is literally what I'm trying to say in this tweet. They are selling big, they want to buy it cheaper. Okay, that is the idea. If it gets lower, they in my opinion, they believe this company is valuable, so they want to push it lower and then add as many as possible shares, while it is cheap, and then this share price of the company can moon once again. So that is literally what I'm trying to tell him here. And then he said this is also usually followed by massive buying pressure once it's dropped. Absolutely, it's mostly followed by a short squeeze. So let's hope you're right. Last 12 months have been shocking. Yeah, absolutely. Now Roman comes in and said this is more or less a POP, and good lord, you will never give up on this stock. They aren't producing profits. Of course, every goods company always starts somewhere. I remember Tesla for years, wasn't profitable, and then all of a sudden from 2018, 2019, when they produced that Model 3, boom, Tesla was all over the place, killing every IC car manufacturers out there. Now no, it's naked shorting. Nobody is selling off their long shares. Of course, a lot of things is going on behind the door. I mean, they are doing a lot of things behind the door that we can't see in the dark pool, for example. Nobody knows what is going on there, and that is mostly where they always short most of stocks like Bionano Genomics literally to death. Now so I'm here, right? He said, has anything changed with your initial investment thesis? If not, my plan is to continue buying shares. My investment horizon is well over a decade, so not worried about short-term volatility or price fluctuations. Perhaps I can get over 100,000 shares before we see $2.2 price again. So yeah. The thing about Bionano Genomics at the moment is, of course, that is why I created the Patreon, so that my patrons can buy the best levels. And that is, of course, what I have been doing, sharing deep information with my patrons, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, sharing my opinion. It costs about $3 if you want to join. I still have, I think I have one place left, one slot left for $3. Then that is it. I'm gonna increase the money to $5 minimum. So anybody that joins before this slot is closed, they are going to be paying $3, for life. And then the next group of people that wants to join, or the next person that wants to join, is going to end up paying $5. So don't miss this opportunity. Now let's see the reply to I'm here, right? So Harris is one of the prominent followers of Bionano Genomics on Twitter. This guy always go hard on the CEO of the company. Of course, he never really gets a reply from, even I don't get reply from the CEO. So he said it is important to reevaluate our investment decisions regularly with all the available information at hand. And of course, this guy is absolutely right. And Bngo doesn't have enough cash reserves to survive until the end of this year, and it will be difficult for them to raise money in this economy without significant dilution. And I think he's also right. Bionano Genomics is running out of cash, in my opinion. I think they have about $100 million left. If they keep spending $30 million per quarter, we literally have about 3 quarters left before Bngo runs out of money. So they need to do something about raising some money. Now, I think my patrons, they all have all this information. Now, Trionania said they don't want it cheaper, they just don't want it. Countless red flags, dilution pending on this year. Institutions are dumping big time. I don't think that is true, that institutions are dumping big time. Of course, the share price of Bngo skyrocketed to almost $16 2 years ago, and since then it's been going lower. Because you have to be profitable, you have to keep showing, the company needs to keep showing something positive, and let's hope that is going to be enough for them to continue existing until finally they can break even and be a profitable company. So J.R. Harris comes in again. The biotech market has been hit hard with rising interest rates. Is correct, of course. Biotech companies that are currently profitable are not getting hit as hard. Of course, that is true. Bngo is in a tough spot based on their low cash reserves, poor margins, and high spend. They could be bankrupt by the end of the oh my god, this guy nailed everything. Let's hope this is not going to be the case. In worst case, maybe somebody is going to acquire Bionano Genomics. And who is gonna acquire Bngo? It could even be Pacb. Let's see what's gonna happen. Now Here is another post I made, showing my Tesla position up almost 400%. Okay, opened in December 28th. Of course, I share this with my patrons, and some of them are banking big on this. So now Bionano Genomics, I made a tweet, a poll. Should we BNGO back to a 2-year low? What is next? Do we have to keep buying the dip, or should we just hold? 68.3% says buy the dip, and 31.7% says hold. So let's see who's gonna be right. I mean, time is on our side. We just have to wait and see. Now this is what the stock market looks like year to date. Okay, before we go into the technical analysis of BNGO, excuse me. And this is what the stock market looks like year to date. Apple up, Microsoft up, everybody up, Tesla up about 60%. Okay, if you use margin, if you use leverage, sorry, you would be big, big time, banking big on Tesla right now, about 400%. Now this is what the healthcare looks like. Okay, a little bit, you guys can see this is where the pain is right now. Healthcare plan, and diagnostic is not really suffering that much, apart from the likes of BNGO and some other stocks. Okay, and then energy sector, that this sector was a winner last year. Okay, but this year is literally consolidating. If you take a look at Occidental Petroleum, I think they are going to be reporting their earnings in a couple of days, or they already did on Friday. I'm not really sure. You can see Occidental Petroleum is down -6% year to date. By this time last year, they were up because Warren Buffett has been putting a lot of money into this company. Okay, but they are not really down. They are still trading around $60 per share. So I wouldn't say that is massively down, but you guys can see that energy sector is consolidating. Oil and gas integrated is green. Okay, year to date, I wouldn't say consolidating. So yeah, money still needs to flow out of this sector to this sector, but we still have that Ukraine-Russia war going on, and inflation is still relatively high. It's not where the Fed wants it to be, and Europe is more or less stable. Okay, there is no recession in Europe like it was predicted last year. So in my opinion, everything is still going on fine. Healthcare is still suffering at the moment. Everything else is looking good so far. So Bionano Genomics closed on Friday -6.62%. Okay, and down year to date. If you take a look at year to date, we started around $1.44 right now. We are at $1.27. So it's now a good time to start buying BNGO. Absolutely. Okay, this is going. If you buy any moment, if you buy at this price, okay, it means you are buying cheaper than most of the people that have been buying since last month. Okay, a lot of my friends on Twitter, they have been buying all these highs. Okay, they have been buying all this. Meanwhile, I wasn't doing anything until the price moved below this level on Thursday, I believe, below this $1.44. That is when I got my own first reason to buy. Okay, cheaper than where we opened this year. So even if you hold this position below $1.44 till the end of the year, and we manage to break even, it would still be a break even. Okay, instead of you buying from all these high prices and then losing at the end of the year, making nothing back. But I think this prices, BNGO is now moving into some real good buy zones. Now let's take a look at the technical chart. Okay, what the price action is saying. Now you guys can see, okay, we are back. We broke this support right here, and then we move below that level. Now the level we are targeting is where we used to be last year May, I believe. If you go to the dailies, okay, that is where I believe we are targeting right now. If you come over here, you guys can see that the price is approaching $1.16. Okay, that's where we used to be last year May. You guys can see right here on the 12th of May. Okay, we used to trade around this level, $1.16, I believe. I think that's where the price of BNGO is trying to approach at the moment. What am I doing? I have to bring it down a little bit. So we are approaching this level at the moment, $1.16. So you guys can see, if we get to that level, we should see some good bounce. Okay, in my opinion, this zone right here is a buy zone, and of course it doesn't mean we cannot go lower. We could still go lower and try to give everything back. Okay, this stock, when I got in around this level in 2020. Okay, December 2020, before Christmas, I got in at this level from 50 cents to 70 cents, and right now we are trading at 1.27 US dollars. Maybe Bngo is trying to give everything back, but let's hope that is not the case. Let's hope this is going to provide us some good support. 1.16 US dollars. That's my last support, guys. If we move below 1.16 US dollars, brace up, brace up. Smash the like button before you leave, and see you guys in the next video. Don't forget, I have about 2 slots left. Okay, if you want to become a patron, I have about 2 slots left for $3 US every month. Then I'm going to increase the money to $5 US. Ciao, ciao.